So today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down what I believe to be the biggest mistake that sports card investors are making right now. Now, before we get into that, I did want to say a little bit about our membership program because we've had some very good picks that have done very well recently, and I kind of wanted to highlight that. So our DeMar DeRozan 2009 Topps Chrome Refractor that we were buying before he got traded to the Bulls, we were buying these up for under $250 ungraded. Most recently, they're around, I believe, between 400 and 990 depending on condition. But the average price has been around $630. Last sale was $750. So definitely a lot of money to be made with our program still. If you guys would like to join in and make some money with us, this is one of the many picks that have really taken off and made our members a lot of money. So if you would like to join in, the link will be down below to sportscardsinvest.com. We have, memberships for all different budgets. So whether you have $100 to invest or $100,000 to invest, we have options for you. So link is down below. But without further ado, we're going to hop right into this video. So the biggest mistake that I'm seeing right now is pertaining cards that have very low populations. So for example, Jordan Poole right here, his Prism Silver PSA 10 has never really been worth grading. It was around the $200 range. As we know, grading right now is around $50 for regular. So it was never a card that was worth grading. And for that reason, we saw the prices stay around $200 to $250 because the population is super low. And so you see, as Jordan Poole, for example, has some big breakout games and investors really start to take attention to it, prices go up very fast. So we saw that this card right here in the span of a month went from around a $200 card to as high as $989. And it's currently sitting over $800 still. This is around an $800 card right now. And the reason being is obviously not because of Jordan Poole himself, obviously partially, but if we look at guys like Trae Young, as we see here, his Prism Silver PSA 10 is just around like $700 to $800. So in fact, Jordan Poole's Prism Silver PSA 10 right now is even more expensive than Trae Young. And don't get me wrong, I love Jordan Poole. I know he's on a contender. He has a very bright future ahead of him. But Trae Young has shown us a lot more thus far. And I think the big reason for this, of course, is due to the limited amount of supply on Jordan Poole's Prism Silver and the fact that many new investors are getting very excited and throwing a lot of money at Jordan Poole's cards right now. However, there is going to be somebody holding the bag on Jordan Poole's Prism Silvers because at some point he has to play at such a high level for these prices to sustain. And not only that, the bigger problem is that when Jordan Poole, for example, has these big games, his PSA 10 Prism Silver goes up to $800. Now all of a sudden, this is a card that's worth grading, right? And the reason being is everybody who owns these Jordan Poole Prism Silvers, at least a good amount of them, start to send them into PSA. And we're going to see the pop numbers on Jordan Poole's Prism Silver go up through the roof over the next 2 months. We've seen this plenty of times before, such as even last year or in 2020 when Tyler Hero started to break out. We saw everybody sending his cards into PSA. And what happens is the supply could be around 6 to 10x what it is right now in just a matter of a month. And that is very dangerous for people holding this card. Now, I understand you could be a big believer in Jordan Poole, but you really have to pick, in my opinion, of course, you really have to pick cards of his that have a lower population, because when people start to send in these Jordan Poole Prism Silvers, these Jordan Poole Prism Base into PSA, now all of a sudden maybe his Prism Base is worth grading for some people. This card was never a card worth grading, especially at current grading prices. Now a lot of people who own these are willing to spend $50 to grade it for the chance that they can make it a $240 PSA 10. And so what we're seeing is a lot of people sending in their Jordan Pooles for grading. Now, in just a matter of a month to two, we're going to see these pop numbers go through the roof, and therefore, unless demand sustains, at growing unless demand can grow at, say, a 5 to 10x of what it is right now, I don't think this price is going to sustain because supply is going to go up 5 to 10x. And so a lot of people buying these right now, I believe, are making mistakes. A lot of people who are owning these and holding on to them, I believe, are making mistakes. Because, logically speaking, as people send them in, the pop's going to keep going up. And as we see, the silver market for a lot of stars even is not doing very well right now. And we see that with Trae Young. This is an under $700 card. Trae Young has proven himself to be, a very, very talented young superstar. And I think we've yet to see that from Poole. We've seen glimpses of it, but I think it's just so much risk to be holding these. If I'm personally a big Jordan Poole believer, but I definitely believe his market is a little bit high right now, or quite a bit high right now, I should say. But it makes zero sense right now to me that a blue prism of his in a PSA 9 is at $1,500 or best offer. And his prism silver in a PSA 10 is going for half that price, if not more. It does not really make much sense to me. If we look at more established players in that set, or at least players with a little bit more established card markets, that's definitely a good reference point to know whether your card is undervalued or overvalued. Because when a player like Jordan Poole pops out of the blue and a lot of people are buying and selling his cards, it's a lot of volatility. It takes a long time for his cards to really settle down. And we could see that with the players' cards are already settled down, such as Zion Williamson. His blue prism in a BGS 9.5 is over $6,000. However, his Prism Silver PSA 10 is a lot less than $3,000, which would be half of $6,000. So you see a lot of good deals and you see a lot of bad deals. And so I definitely believe right now Jordan Poole's Prism Silver is overvalued, yet I do believe his Prism Blue is undervalued. And as we see, Zion's Prism Silver PSA 10 is around a fourth or a third to a fourth the price of his Prism Blue in a PSA 9. And we see that with with Jordan Poole, his Prism Blue is just around probably less than double the price of his Prism Silver PSA 10. So what I personally predict to happen, just to make things clear, is that his Prism Silver is going to come down and his Prism Blue is going to go up. Because in the long term, his Prism Blue is going to hold a very low supply. And his Prism Silver, the supply on that is just going to go through the roof. So I definitely think a lot of people who are holding Jordan Poole, this is not a panic. I'm not telling you guys to panic sell. I'm telling you guys at least to think about what's going on, what you think is going to happen with the population, and where you see demand going. Because if supply is doing 5 to 10x, which is probably honestly a reasonable number for the next 2 to 3 months on Jordan Poole's Prism Silvers, where do you see demand going? Is demand going to also do 5 to 10x to sustain these prices? Or is demand going to stay steady and prices are going to drop, right? So it's all up to you guys, but I just wanted to kind of highlight that. That's personally, in my opinion, what I believe to be the biggest mistake people are making right now, holding on to the bag for too long. Every time a player is hot, in my opinion, I like to sell off, just because a lot of attention in the market goes to a lot of different people. For example, Jalen Brunson is a player whose cards are very hot right now. For his Prism Silver to sustain at $400 with all these people about to send in Jalen Brunson Prism Silvers to PSA, I think his demand's going to have to continue to go up so much astronomically for his prices to sustain. So this is just kind of a discussion I wanted to start. In the comment section below, let me know your thoughts on this. If you agree, if you disagree, what kind of your philosophy is on this whole situation. When a card has a super low population and then all of a sudden months from then, the population just skyrockets because it becomes worth grading the card. So just let me know what you guys think. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope it helped you guys out in some way possible. But once again, if you would like to join in on the program, the link is down below to sportscardsinvest.com. Other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed and I'm out. Peace.